We thank you for staying with us. You've been watching the AM show. If you've just joined us, well, you've missed quite a bit, but we're on to a lot more. And you definitely love our next conversation. Well, this week we brought you a story about a recent symposium on maternal health research, where a research fellow at the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the Komfo Teaching Hospital, Dr. Mercy Nneoma, expressed worry over the rise of Caesarean sections. And according to her, the trend has dire health consequences. But what is accounting for this rise? You would ask. Well, first of all, let's play back to you exactly what Dr. Mercy Nneoma said. We'll come back, and our main concentration really is on the C-section and then the vaginal birth. Do you have a personal choice that you can make in the two?
Normally, we know that from the beginning, there's a reason for the C-sections, but because people have had one previous C-section, then they go into second C-section, and then because of this, we can see there's adhesion when the woman is open again. The statistics show us that in 2010, we have 35.7, 2011, the C-section rate is increasing, 2012, then 2013, 2014, 2015. It means it's already going higher and higher. There's no reduction in a cesarean section rate. So, and we know it's not only in our department. This is a story globally. And I believe even in the district hospitals, they have some increase in cesarean section. And we know that cesarean section is associated with short and long complications.
Okay, so that is what has set the tone for our conversation. Fortunately for us, we don't just have a man who can tell us about C-section and vaginal birth, but he also manages a huge facility, and we'll find out what the situation is with his own. Dr. Kennedy Brighton is my guest. It's been a long while, but it's good to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. How is your model hospital doing? The Shai or Sudoku?
Well, I've missed you.
I miss you. I miss you more.
We are doing very well. We are doing perfectly well. We are delivering health. We are saving the mothers, and then our sisters. We are saving them.
Yeah.
We have some challenges here and there, but that has got to do with finances. I mean, it's across board, so that you know about that one. But generally,
you're well.
We are well.
Yeah.
We are fine.
Okay. So how do you relate, first of all, to what Dr. Nneoma? Unfortunately, you were also at this event.
Yes, I was there. I sat in, and it's true. It's true that cesarean section rates across board, right from the district hospital to the teaching hospital through the regional hospital, the rate is increasing. There are various reasons, you know.
But
so
is that a good thing when people are opting for the C-section? Because, you know, remember not too long ago, people were afraid to do it.
Yes.
And people would insist on doing the normal delivery.
Yes. First of all, we must juxtapose the cesarean section with maternal mortality and see that the rate at which it is increasing, do we have the maternal mortality decreasing? Because it's a measure that we put in to save a dying situation. Cesarean section is not a bad thing for us to think about, but by culture, a lot of women in Ghana, in one way or the other, think that the normal way of delivering is to have what you call spontaneous vaginal delivery. Spontaneous vaginal delivery. And they call cesarean section the abnormal way.
Yeah.
So sometimes you talk and you say, oh, I had a normal delivery. I think it's a wrong perception. Both deliveries are normal. Caesarean section is not an abnormal delivery. It is a normal delivery. So one person will deliver through the vagina if all the conditions are set for it. The other person will have a Caesarean section based on certain conditions. So most often than not, the Caesarean section is performed either to save the baby or to save the mother or to save the two of them. So quite often, sometimes looking at the circumstances and your health status and condition at that material moment, we can decide to do a Caesarean section for you, not because you may not or you are not capable of having a spontaneous vaginal delivery, but the outcome is what we are looking at. In today's Ghana, you don't want to have a child that would be normal, would be fine in everything. But when they start school, the teacher would have to repeat what she or he had to say 100 times before about 1% of it gets stuck on the child's brain. There are stages of the delivery, and sometimes you realize that the child is coming, but it has got to a stage where there is a delay, and further delay could reduce the oxygen supply to the brain of the child, because the umbilical cord through which the baby gets oxygen is pressed against the vaginal wall at that stage. And if you wait a little further, yes, the woman could still deliver, but do you want a baby that you want quality as against quantity? So quickly, because you want to avert such a situation, you plan to remove the baby. The interesting thing is that in our part of the world, Ghanaian women in general, for one reason or the other, tend to listen to their spiritual and religious mentors more than, I don't want to use the word pastors, but that is what wants to come out, and that is what I face all the time.
So this is also affecting doctors.
And it becomes a problem. There was an occasion where a woman who has had 2 previous Caesarean sections, you know, your 3rd Caesarean section is automatic. I don't even need to tell you about it. It's something that we educate you on.
Or even if you wait for like 5 years.
Yes, you would. You see, the point is that the risk of having your womb opening up as a result of intense contraction is higher if you have several scars on it.
Okay.
You understand? So for us to avoid that thing, sometimes we even open and that old scar had gaped. But because it's a scar that has got some stitches around it, some bleeders had been taken care of earlier. So though it had gaped, we call it wound dehiscence. It has dehisced, but not bleeding effectively. So this 2 Caesarean section woman came with a pastor. No, came alone. And after I had seen her, she was referred to us. So I explained to her that, oh, madam, you know, we need to do a 3rd Caesarean section for you, and even probably stop you from having further children. She did a hand like this. Tofiakwa. Yes, Mojan camp on Sunday nim. So who was telling you this? The Dr. Bryson. You know, I don't know, but instantaneously I say, oh, now yes, Moja there say yo. It is yes, Moja come here, but let's talk. And you need to joke, no matter how provoked you are. You have a patient sitting in front of you whose state of mind is completely different. So even when you are insulted, you still need to absorb it and joke with it and carry on. She called the pastor. And the pastor came. When the pastor came, oh, Baba Kiri, Baba Sanka to punish, Baba Dubada, he Baba Sanka,
because of a 3rd CS.
3rd CS. So I mean, I had enough patience because this is something I've been doing for 21 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know it too well. So I had enough patience. They finished, and then the pastor took the woman away. Even trying to convince them to sign, they refused and took her away. So you can imagine.
But did she have time? Because
Yes,
if you're doing CS, the pregnancy must not get to a certain stage.
She had time, but she was referred because she was post-date. Post-date, but she had gone past the period when she had to deliver. I live in Achimota. And then around 12 midnight, the midwife calls me. Then I rush to Dodowa. When I got there, it was this same woman that I had spoken to in the morning, and she had refused the C-section, bleeding. What do you have to do? No matter how angry you become, you must still save that life, because every woman matters. So quickly, we had to prepare. She kept quiet. She didn't talk. So I asked, where is the pastor? I said, Pastor, they didn't ever see me. Pastor Nako. And I said, look at that. It happened when I was doing research in Ho, where it happened. The same thing. At the old hospital, I had to now call the police to lock up a husband so that I could operate the wife. Let me give you this story. Very interesting. The woman is standing in front of me, bleeding. And we had to go. It's called antepartum hemorrhage. The position of the placenta was such that the placenta was low and the baby was on top of it.
I can relate.
You see, ideally it should be the other way around. But so once she goes into labor, the placenta will just pop and she will bleed. She will bleed to death, and the baby would also die.
Is that the same as low-lying placenta?
Yes, low-lying placenta. Okay. You know. So I talked to this woman who was bleeding that we needed to perform an emergency C-section because she was around 37 weeks.
Okay.
She said no, she would call the husband first. The husband happened to be a pastor. So she called the husband, and the husband refused. The husband came and said no. So, and I asked her, then can you write something to show that you are acting against serious medical advice and that the consequences that you will see very soon in just about an hour's time, where you will see death, has nothing to do with us. So I told the gentleman that he should, because this woman will write it. By the time she will be dead, she will not be there to read and regret. And she wrote, and I quote, because my husband doesn't want me doesn't want me to have the operation, and that God is in control, I am against the operation.
Wow. And
I was shocked, Marvy. So I couldn't do anything about it. Then I remembered when we were junior residents in Kolebu, I had a very wonderful consultant, Dr. Nelson. He told us a story about in the 70s when he had to rush to Ajaben Court to go and get some order to operate a woman. Okay. And so then it came to mind. Then I said, oops, then I can also do that. So I told the nurse, Auntie Esther, she's gone on pension now, to watch them. And that I had to use the washroom. I just jumped into my car and went to the court. The court is just about 2 minutes drive from us. So I went to the court, and when I got there, the judge had closed. I didn't know what to do, so I was confused. Then I called Dovsu. When I called Dovsu, the head of Dovsu over there was a pregnant woman and my patient that I was seeing, that I had operated twice. So, and I narrated the whole story to them. He said, no, you go to the hospital. They're managing the woman. We'll be there with you soon. In a matter of minutes, Dovsu came with some policemen with I don't know, they call them panthers or something. Okay. You know, they have this.
So these will be well built.
Well built, you know. And then the commander, a very wonderful commander in Dodowa. So the commander said, look, doctor, I have signed this. Go ahead and save the woman. Everything that happens, we'll take it upon ourselves. So then I told the woman that, look, if you joke, so they pick the husband. And you know what I told the woman? I told the woman that, you see, the painful thing is that tomorrow, when you are dead and you have not been buried yet, your husband will be enjoying life somewhere. Because the man will always continue to enjoy. Because I told her that it has never occurred before, as far as I have practiced for 22 plus years, that a man walks to me and says that I have lost my wife, so put POP on my penis so that I don't have sex again with any other woman. It hasn't happened yet. So I told the woman that you will be gone with your vagina, but the man will look for a substitute. So you have to think about yourself and the child that is inside you. When I said all this, then it dawned on her that no, this was death coming, because she saw the blood still trickling. We had to rush to theater. We resuscitated the baby 1 hour. So we saved the mother and saved the baby.
Wow.
About 4 years later, I went to Makola with my wife to do some shopping. We entered some clothing shop. And Dr. Bright said, Dr. Bright, who is this person? There are many, those that we have seen. So I did not recall. But when she mentioned the POP thing, then I remembered. So I asked of the husband. He said, oh, yeah, Jayu. I say, Yankupam and revelation. Hey. Say, on worry about Fufro. And that is it. So then she told me, hey, doctor, do you know, if you are a pastor, you get followers. So then I laughed. You see, so Caesarean section, there's nothing mythical about Caesarean section.
Yeah.
Caesarean section is one beautiful surgery a woman will go through. Let me tell you one thing. For most women who try to keep their reproductive canal solidly intact, most of them come and say that, and that is what is accounting for some of these things, that, doctor, I don't want to go through any pain. And one thing that I must also say is that we run a pregnancy school system. In the pregnancy school, we invite men and women to attend. We educate them. We talk to them. We try to let them understand Caesarean section. And you know, at the level 400 of the pregnancy, level 300, that's how we have level 100, level 200, level 300, 400. At the level 300, they visit the labor ward and then theater. So we take the pregnant women to theater in Dodua.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what is done elsewhere, but in Dodua, we even give some of them the opportunity to observe Caesarean section. And I bet you, some of them, when they come out of theater, then they ask, so doctor, is that all the operation? Because some of us are very fast
But
surgeons.
there's pain after that.
Well, there is dying pain in having an SVD as well. But
isn't that pain one that you feel, and after the baby comes out, that's it?
But you see, you may have your structures torn here and there, and you have an afterwards pain as well. Okay. That we manage. So in both cases,
is it as painful as what you feel after? In fact, I think, and I've done it twice, so I haven't experienced the other side, so I don't know how that pain feels like.
Yes. You see, Mama V, then we have analgesics that we give. We have painkillers that we give. So even after Caesarean section, you would be on painkillers until you pass through that crucial stage, 3 hours, 4 hours, that you feel the severity of the pain.
When you're waking up the first time.
Yes, you see, because in your case, you were given general anesthesia. So you slept completely. And
no, I didn't. I was awake.
You were awake.
I was numb down there, but
so you were given a spinal anesthesia. Yes. So most often than not, you are awake and you are seeing everything. In fact, in Dodua, our new theater lamp is such that it serves as a video screen as well.
Oh, so you can see what's happening.
Exactly. So you, the patient lying down, being operated, we can turn it around, if you really want to see, and you see everything from A to Z. So it tends to demystify your fear about C-section. So the next time C-section is suggested to you, you realize that it's good. And those who go through theater to observe, the pregnant women, after that, sometimes you'll be there and they come and say, oh, doctor, I really don't want to go through labor, and then sometimes when labor fails, then I would have a double agony of having gone through all the pain and the struggle, and then at the end of the day, the baby could not come, and we still have to go to theater and have surgery done. So you will see that a lot of people are kind of opting for end.
But is that a good thing? Is that a healthy trend, or is one that we should be worried about?
I would not use the word healthy, but I would say that it's a challenge. It's a challenge that we are going through, but we would get there. When we get there, the point where more and more education will go into it, and the rates will start. But I must say that the cesarean section rates, as we see them, or cesarean section in itself, is not a bad thing at all. We even want to go into the villages. That's one thing I want to do in Dodowa, that if the ambulance we used, in fact, I went to Asuchari and I saw one ambulance there that was donated by an organization to the health center, and it's a moving theater.
Okay. So
that instead of rushing to come to the hospital on a market on a day that is not a market day from rural Dodowa, you could call us, then we will move with the theater team to wherever you are in the village, and then put you on and start acting on you whilst we move. So by the time we get to the hospital, we finish everything, and then we take it to the recovery ward. I'm looking forward to such a thing.
Okay.
And that would be beautiful in rural Ghana, where you don't have the men and you don't have the hospitals. So you can imagine somebody in Likpe, Kukurantumi, or Akpafutoji, or Old Baikal or New Baikal, those areas, that the person goes into labor. And Hokwe Municipal Hospital is very far away from these places. And if it's not a market day in Hokwe, that all the cars and the once-a-week trotros will ply, then you are in serious danger. You will not get a car. So if we have such a moving theater,
then it will be
easy. Now you call the hospital moves to the village, we prepare you, we perform the surgery on you and drive you to the hospital, put you in the recovery ward. You are fine. 3 days, you are home.
So for somebody like me who's done it twice, and my kids are 4, 6, my third one would automatically be
you must have it. Yes.
If I decide to.
I would not advise you.
Okay.
I would not advise you and to try a spontaneous vaginal delivery.
Okay.
First of all, I would not do it, but in the event that you insist, and you do not want to, you see, it's your body, and you are the first person who has absolute control, have absolute control over your body. So, but you put me in a very dying and a critical corner. So what it means is that in your labor, when you go into labor, I must be there. Theater must be made ready. All other nurses, everybody must be ready. So that when the emergency kicks, then we quickly rush you to theater. So you put a lot of stress on us.
Okay.
And you would eventually end up in theater.
Okay.
Because you have the ruptured uterus.
So even if it becomes more like a lifestyle, somebody walks in and says that I opt for this, we shouldn't be worried as a society.
Yeah, I think that as a society we shouldn't be worried. We are worried about the numbers that are going up. But in sometimes you ask yourself, you see, we are spirit beings as well. No matter what, the woman has come and says that I want to have a cesarean section. Sometimes you don't know what communication, what the level of thinking that must have gone in her brain before she came to you to say this. You refused and said, no, you have to go in and deliver vaginally. And at the end of the day, she goes and the baby gets stuck, or some other complications happen, and then you must now rush and take her to theater, and she loses the baby. And I'm talking from experience. I'm not just saying an answer. And then you hardly forgive yourself.
But whose responsibility is that? Like, who's responsible for that? Can I hold the doctor accountable?
No.
For refusing me what I...
No, the doctor, you cannot hold the doctor accountable, because at that material moment, there was no indication for me to operate you.
Okay.
There was no clinical indication.
Okay.
There was only a psycho-emotional indication.
From the other part.
From the other part.
Sure.
A psychosocial indication.
Okay.
You understand? But like I said, a lot of things must go into some of the decisions we make. So that, you know, it is not over until the baby is out, finally.
All right.
You know.
Okay. Okay, Dr. Bryson, we have to end our conversation here. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yes,
and I'm sure that this has sunk in well. I think what we haven't done is to open the phone lines. But I know that if we did, we'll have loads and loads and loads of people calling.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we can do another conversation sometime soon.
Yes, I'll look at my timetable.
Okay.
And then and then I'll give you a call.
Okay, sure. All right.
So that I will do a continuation of this.
Of this one. Okay.
And look at the other factors and complications of vaginal delivery, what could happen, the fistulas, the ruptures, and all that. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Dr. Bryson, thank you so much. He's in charge of the Shai Osudoku medical facility, which is still very fresh, I guess.
2 years.
Still very fresh.
And it's still fresh.
Okay.
We have managed it
We'll
so
come
well.
and inspect and do a
Please
story.
do.
Thank you so much for your time.
Stay
with us. We'll come back, and the conversations would continue on the show. You'd love the next conversation as well. Stay with us.